Question 4. A person drove from 7 a.m. Tuesday to 7 p.m. Wednesday. He drove a total of 418 miles. He had lunch for 30 minutes on Tuesday and slept overnight from 6 p.m. Tuesday and got back to drive at 6 a.m. Wednesday. On Wednesday, he had 30 minutes for lunch. What is the average speed that he drives round to the nearest whole number? This has a ton of information in there, and it turns out in this case you do need to use all that information. What makes this one particularly confusing is that they don't really give you the information in the order that you need to use it. So to pick out the easiest way to solve this is look at what he did on Tuesday, look at what he did on Wednesday, subtract out the time for lunch, and then you've got the number of hours total that he drove, which you'll need to get to the speed. So getting to the hours is the more complicated, more steps part of this. So he drove from 7 a.m. Tuesday to 7 p.m. Wednesday, but he didn't drive through straight. So he started on Tuesday at 7 a.m. and he finished on Wednesday at 7 p.m. But we just want to look at what he did on each individual day. So we're going to skip over all this other info for now. We'll come back to it later. He slept overnight from 6 p.m. Tuesday. So that's when he stopped driving. And you need to find that in there. And then you can easily see, okay, so he went from 7 a.m. Tuesday to 6 p.m. Tuesday. If he'd gone from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., that would be 12 hours. He stopped 1 hour earlier than that, and that was 11 hours of driving. And that, to me, is the easiest way to do it, is to see, okay, if he had gone from whatever time you get for the AM, if he'd stopped at the same time PM, that's 12 hours, and then adjust it up or down to figure out how many total hours he drove. Then he got back to driving at 6 a.m. Wednesday. So in this case, if he had driven from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., that would have been 12 hours, but he drove 1 more hour beyond that. So that was a total of 13 hours that he drove on Wednesday. And each day, Tuesday and Wednesday, he had 30 minutes for lunch. So that's a total of an hour. So we just need to add together the hours that he drove and subtract the hour that he had lunch. So now we've got 11 plus 13 minus 1 is going to give us, let's see, that would be 24 minus 1 is going to be 23 hours. And that's the biggest part of this one, is coming up with this total number of hours from all this information that they give you. And then he drove a total of 418 miles. And speed is, you know it as miles per hour. And what that means is per means divide. So if you take the 418 miles, per is division, 23 hours, and then we just plug that into the calculator. So it's 418 miles divided by the 23 hours that he was driving, and that gives you 18.17, and we want to round it to the nearest whole number. So that's going to be the 1 after the 8 means we're going to keep it an 8 and not round up. So the answer is going to be 18 miles per hour. And we're going to just enter the number and not the unit. If you're doing it in the Brightspace class, I don't know exactly what it's going to ask you to do in the HESI class. From what I remember, or in the HESI test rather, when I took it, anything that I had that was fill in the blank, you just had to enter a number, and I would imagine that's going to be the case. But the instructions should be clear as to exactly what you should enter, whether you should enter miles per hour or anything like that. More than likely, here's my guess, is what it'll look like is there'll be a blank, and then next to it, it will say miles per hour in words, indicating that you're just going to put the number in the blank. So those are the steps for this one. Just make sure that you're calculating the hours for Tuesday and the hours for Wednesday, subtracting out the time that was for lunch, doing all of that first to get the hours, and then the miles divided by the hours is going to give you the miles per hour, which is the speed.